Today, we're getting into a really powerful story, a little parable, you could say, about finding meaning where you least expect it. It's called The Lighthouse Keeper's Lesson. So let me ask you something. Have you ever looked at your job, your daily grind, and just thought, is this it? Does any of this actually matter? It's a feeling I think we all get, and it's right at the heart of the story we're about to explore. So our story kicks off with a little something called the comparison trap, and I bet we've all been caught in it. And to see it in action, we need to meet our main character, Nisha. She's a designer, and she is feeling completely and utterly lost. Okay, so here's Nisha's deal. She's a great graphic designer, really talented, but she works for a small company and she's totally stuck. Not on her work, but on what everyone else is doing, especially her friends at those big, shiny, famous companies. And this is the kind of stuff that was just running on a loop in her head, you know? Simran's at Google, Rahul's at Amazon. This constant comparing made her feel like a total failure. And it wasn't about the quality of her work, not at all. It was about the logo that wasn't on her business card. So, feeling pretty much worthless, she decides she's got to get away for a bit. She takes off for a weekend trip to this little coastal town. And it's there, while she's just walking around, that she finds an old lighthouse, and the one person who is about to change her whole outlook on everything. And this meeting, this is where things get really interesting. It introduces us to what the story calls the keeper's question, and it shows us how a job that looks so simple on the outside can have this incredibly deep purpose. Okay, so check this out. Look at the difference here. When Nisha asks the old man what he does for a living, she's thinking, oh, what a small, boring, totally unimportant job. But his answer? It's so simple, but so powerful. He just says, I keep the light on. That's it. So Nisha kind of presses him on it, you know? She asks if he ever feels like his job is just too small compared to people in big cities. But the keeper, he doesn't get offended at all. He does something brilliant. He just points out to the ocean. He asks her, see that huge cruise ship way out there? And she does. And then he gives her just one number. 3,000. And boom, that's it. That's his whole point. He explains that his little light, it warns that huge ship about dangerous rocks just below the surface. Without his light, that ship could crash. All of a sudden, his small job is responsible for 3,000 human lives. It's not small at all. It's absolutely essential. And that realization, that aha moment, brings us to the real lesson of this whole story, this idea of quality over size. It's all about figuring out what the true measure of importance really is. Look, the keeper gets it. He says, sure, there are way bigger lighthouses in bigger city ports, guiding tons more ships. But he explains, for the ships that pass right here, this light is just as vital. Its importance isn't about its scale, it's about its impact in this specific place. And then he hits her with this killer question. Think about it. He asks, if I'm sitting here just feeling sorry for myself, wishing I was a big city lighthouse, who's going to do the job that needs to be done right here? Who will keep this light on? So this really gets to the heart of it all, what we're calling the keeper's principle. It's a beautifully simple idea, isn't it? It's not about how big your stage is. It's about how bright and how steady you keep your light. This breaks it down perfectly. You've got these two totally different ways of measuring your worth. On one hand, you've got the world's metric, the one Nisha was trapped in. It's all about the size of your stage, the brand name on your business card. But then you have the keeper's metric, which is all about the quality of your light and the real impact you have on other people. Okay, so this is all great in theory, but how do we actually apply this lesson? How do we take it and use it in our own lives? Well, that brings us to the final part of our story, Nisha, figuring out how to find her own light. The keeper just lays it all out for her plain and simple. He connects the dots. He tells her, those clients at your small company, they are the ships that need your light. Your designs help little businesses get off the ground. You give a startup its whole identity. And then he says it clearly. This is not small work. It is important work. And just like that one conversation, that simple little shift in perspective, it was all it took. It totally flipped a switch for her and changed the way she saw her job, herself, and her place in the world. And we're not just talking about some temporary feel-good moment. No way. This was a real change with real long-term results. Right away, she just stopped comparing herself to everyone and poured all that wasted energy into the quality of her work. And fast forward 3 years, that small company, fired up by people like her, grew into a super successful agency. So when we boil this all down, what's the big takeaway? It's this. Your worth isn't about the brand you work for. It's about the value you actually create. A small lighthouse that's on and working is always, always better than a giant, broken one. The goal isn't to be bigger. It's just to be excellent, right where you are. Which brings us to one final thought, one question for you. This story, it's not really about Nisha, is it? It's about all of us. It's a challenge to stop looking at the giant, glamorous stages out there and to ask a much more important question. Who are the ships in your world? And who needs your light today?